Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the murder case of Paulette Mullins is making its way through court as the suspect entered their plea yesterday. And Martin County has new equipment it hopes will prevent future disasters like last year's mine collapse.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. We're inching up to that 6 o'clock mark this Thursday morning, and today is December 19th. Let's send it over to meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, don't forget socks today. Those toes will be cold.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to forget those socks. I mean, for me, we're getting to that glove territory, but we're not there just quite yet. But yeah, definitely going to need to be on the warmer side as you're heading out because it is colder than we've seen this week. We are in the 30s and 40s. Now, this is warmer than you would expect for this time of year still for about this time of day, but I mean, it's a big difference from what we've seen this week. And as we go into the afternoon, that's where you see the biggest difference. I mean, we saw those temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and now we're looking at the low 40s for most of the area. Now it is going to be a little bit warmer as you're traveling more towards the south, with only one place seeing potential to get into the 50s, and that is Jacksboro and the surrounding Tennessee cities. But as you're going into the live pinpoint Doppler radar, you can see just a little bit of something being picked up as you're traveling towards Wayne County, for West Virginia, excuse me. But this could just be part of that fog that we're seeing up there this morning. But that's something to be prepared for. But it will be a drier day as you're going into your Thursday with mostly cloudy skies all the way through, and those temperatures hitting that high mark around that 4 o'clock in the low to mid 40s. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. One Pikeville man appeared in court yesterday answering to charges of murder, terroristic threatening, and assault. WYMT's Buddy Forbes was in the courtroom and has the latest.
A Pikeville man is pleading not guilty to the murder of his mother.
This is a case that originated from a 911 call, actually from the victim.
Investigators say it all started with a call for help and the sound of gunshots.
That's what we believe, that during the 911 call, the shots were fired.
Sending Kentucky State Police to a property on Old Wagner Station Road, where 75-year-old Paulette Mullins lived next to her son, Alex Uhas.
So when they showed up, they couldn't, they didn't know who was there, didn't know which residence they were in, so they called in the special response team to take all precautions they can to make sure they didn't walk into an ambush at some time.
After what investigators said was several hours of negotiating with Uhas, who they say made threats as he hid inside of his mobile home, he was taken into custody. Pike County Commonwealth's attorney Bill Sloan says a gun was found in his home and his mother was found in her house next door.
When they got into the house where the victim was, they found that she was deceased and she had been shot at least one time.
Uhas was indicted on charges of murder, terroristic threatening, and assault of a police officer last week and appeared before a judge Wednesday, where his attorney entered a not guilty plea before asking that his $500,000 bond be reduced.
We think that's an appropriate bond. At this time, we believe that due to the violent nature of this, then he would be a danger to the public.
Judge Eddie Coleman followed the Commonwealth's recommendation, keeping the full cash bond in place and setting a pretrial for April.
Hopefully by that time we'll have all the evidence collected. Whatever has to go to the lab is made to the lab. We'll get the lab results back and get that to the defense attorney, and then we'll go from there.
Uhas was taken back to the Pike County Detention Center in Pikeville. Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Investigators expect more details of the case to come to light by the next court hearing, which will take place April 4th at the Pike County Judicial Center. A Tazewell, Tennessee man is headed to prison for more than 3 decades after killing his wife, a Claiborne County jail employee. Tennessee Bureau of Investigators say Benjamin Hobson stabbed his wife, Lori, multiple times as they drove down Barron Creek Road. Her body was later found outside of the car. This all happened back in April. After a guilty plea, Hobson will spend the next 37 years in prison and must serve the entire term. In the wake of Monday's deadly shooting at a Madison, Wisconsin school, many schools are looking at their safety efforts. That includes Danville Christian Academy. The school is similar in size to the Abundant Life Christian School, where 2 people were killed and 6 others injured. Danville Christian Academy does have a school resource officer, and they've increased their security in recent years. SRO Derek Robbins says anyone who enters the school is screened and the doors are locked. A deadly tragedy last year sparked emergency officials in one county to take action. Last year, 2 workers were preparing an 11-story structure at a former coal plant in Martin County for demolition. The building collapsed. The workers were trapped and killed. Afterwards, Martin County Judge Executive Lon Lafferty says getting better prepared for emergencies became a priority. The county worked to get roughly $30,000 from a state grant to help acquire a mobile command unit, light plant, and utility trailer.
We're in a communications dead zone, and there are a lot of those in eastern Kentucky. There are a lot of places we don't have cell phone coverage, and this helps fill the gap.
Their mobile command center is a former school bus that was donated by the Martin County Board of Education. The deadline is approaching when it comes to getting help with your heating bill. You have until Friday to submit your application to the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, known as LIHEAP. Those in need can receive anywhere from $50 to $250 depending on a family's household income, size, and heating supply source. When applying, you need to bring a valid photo ID or social security card for those living in your home, proof of income, and your current electric bill.
We absolutely are here to make sure that everybody has the resources they need to be safe and to be healthy and to be warm in the wintertime.
The next opportunity to apply is in January. The Community Action Council gets people connected to this type of assistance, which covers gas, electric, and bulk fuel fees. Food pantries across the state are working to keep their communities fed this holiday season. The Berea Food Bank is supporting 3 local organizations to reach even more Kentuckians facing food insecurity. They allowed groups like the Appalachian Community Meal Project to shop through their inventory. Meal Project founder Amanda Smith-Nance says it can be tough to have enough food to in stock to keep up with people's needs.
They go empty as soon as we put food in them. With nobody having disposable income these days, having enough income for an adequate amount of groceries is ever challenging.
Union Church and Up Initiative of Madison County also picked up groceries from the Berea Food Bank to add to their food pantries.
And this morning we were watching as those temperatures are quite cold, especially compared to what we've been expecting this week. And as you look out the door at the London Corbin Airport, those temperatures are in the upper 30s. We do have those cloudy skies for today and that relatively high humidity, making those temperatures not too terrible, but we do have some wind making that feels like just a little bit cooler than it actually is. And here are those current temperatures, most places above that freezing mark across the board, with one exception. Wise is at 32 degrees, and our temperatures for today are going to be in the mid 40s as you go more towards the south, the low 40s for the 2 regions ahead, the Big Sandy and the Kentucky River Valley. And for the next couple hours, we'll just watch as those temperatures slowly warm up and we have cloudy skies throughout the day. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. There's a fight to keep the government open after a bipartisan deal fell apart following comments from President-elect Trump and one of his allies.